All right, hey guys, welcome to another video. Just me and Yuffie hanging out here on the home screen. And as you've seen about the title today, we gotta talk a little bit about Wotv game design because there's a couple of things that have been what could be considered oversight. I mean, honestly, there's a few things that in terms of gameplay design this year have felt a little questionable. I think the first and foremost questionable thing, uh, and actually it's kind of interesting because all three things that we're going to talk about in this video are based on older units. And let's start with the first, which is a old Thunder unit named Skull. And Skull, I think it is on global. What an interesting unit this guy has had. You know, he came out with his own side story. He felt like, you know, oh, cool, a Thunder Mage kind of thing. There aren't a ton of those, but this seems like it could be interesting. And for the longest time, he was basically semi-used and really not competitive at all. And then he got his MA2 and basically became unkillable in combination with certain units and was actually one of the top units in the 3rd anniversary Japanese side tournament, which, you know, PvP wise, to win a tournament, your unit has to be particularly good, and it was fairly convincing wins all the way throughout. So yes, Skahal was incredibly impressive, but borderlining a little bit on questionable. Now, really, it wasn't the fact of his one ability, it was the fact that in combination with a powerful healer, he could stay alive forever. Didn't matter how many times he would get hit, didn't matter how many times. As long as he had enough HP, he would retain his guts effect, it couldn't be cancelled out. And it felt more than a little bit oppressive and slightly worrying. Not too terribly much, though. I mean, he never took over the JP meta or anything like that, so sure, why not? Things are kind of still fine. Maybe a little bit concerned, but it wasn't absolutely broken and there were ways around it. So sure, well, the lightning got something kind of broken, but it was fine this year. And next came out this guy, Warrior of Light, who I don't have, but just use your imaginations. And we basically saw a tank that could get 15,000 HP, and with the reincarnation system and everything that he got in his upgrades, he could basically heal for about 18,000. More healing than most healers can actually do. And what's more impressive too is the fact that not only that, he could use the HP and he could generate hate so incredibly easy that he could effectively loop AI. Well, sure, this is broken in some aspects, and Peachin even showed off in a video just how broken he could be in combination with light elemental mages, which worked really well together. You know, just Yuna with re-raise and Sakura with incredibly high attack power, and him just generally keeping auto enemies forever in a loop where they could not kill him. It is problematic. It effectively creates a major problem in a huge part of the game, which is PvP, in which a lot of it is played auto. And honestly, this would have been enough this year. I mean, one light team that felt particularly annoying and one lightning team that felt particularly annoying. But I guess we're not quite through the year yet, as we have one more to talk about, and it is Xmas Viktora. Now, if you look at this picture right now, in combination with other water units, you'll see nothing looks out of the ordinary until you take a slightly closer look and you realize that all of her abilities have hit 0 AP. Now, from my understanding, basically part of the culprit this time is the new accessory. Now, there was a Xmas accessory that is incredibly cute, and we're not going to hate on the accessory too terribly much. But if you look right here, there we go. This gives a AP reduction of 15%. Now, in combination with Viktora's 35 from her MA and a chunk that can either be gotten from other sources, but mostly from VC buffs. You can actually hit 0 AP cost. Let me tell you, I don't particularly like Skahal, but Skahal has his weaknesses. If he doesn't, get hit for quite enough damage, he can end up in a spot where the AI just doesn't figure it out what it's supposed to do. As for Warrior of Light, sure, Warrior of Light is potentially damaging in auto, but manual-wise, he's pretty garbage, and no matter how good he is, you just target the other units and you're fine, sort of thing. Not only that, but I've fought against some Warrior of Light, so it seems like the formula isn't quite perfect. But this, I don't like at all. Out of all the things that we've come across this year, I don't like seeing this, because this effectively just ignores a key requirement for abilities in this game, and is a key part of the actual game itself and the gameplay. This feels like a pretty big oversight. It completely invalidates Frostbite. It invalidates a lot of stuff. And there's difference, like Sephiroth, for example. While Sephiroth is an incredibly powerful unit, Sephiroth has inbound kit ways of generating AP, but it doesn't give him free reign over his abilities. Most units in this game still encounter issues of not being able to meet AP requirements constantly. That's kind of a thing, right? I'm starting to wonder if the devs are just too time pressured and too pressured to make things that are broken, because it's either an oversight, it feels like at this point, or that it is, pretty brutally intentional. But that's the thing. If it felt intentional, why would it not be advertised? There wasn't any promotional material I saw from anyone else that said that from the official sources that said this was going to be potentially a broken unit. And it's exciting. It is exciting for people who have this unit, who could get this unit and make a unit with 0 AP. But I think that this year we saw just some fairly negative in terms of gameplay design aspects added to the game, because it's just not good to flat out ignore parts of the game. And even this year, Sephiroth can hit 100% slash resistance penetration, and then we're getting slash resistance penetration resistance probably in those next year. And it's just it is questionable how I feel like Wotv's development is really starting to hit a brick wall, where they were starting to go into units needing to be more and more broken, or quite possibly there's just more and more mistakes in terms of designing units and designing upgrades. I don't think that any unit in the game should 100% be able to ignore a core gameplay mechanic, because, as exciting as this could be, what's going to happen next year with newer units? Are we just going to see more and more broken versions of this iteration? Why even have the AP cost in the first place if units are going to just flat out start ignoring it? Basically, I don't know. This feels bad to me. All three of these events feel like they should probably not have happened to the degree they were, because Skahal can just hard body teams too much. Same with Warrior of Light. But I don't know. Yes, we do have things like excuse me. We do have things such as, how do I say this? We do have ways that characters do need to feel more and more powerful. And Wotv, for its first 2 years, has felt very good about introducing new characters, but keeping old characters feeling particularly strong. And here, I don't know, something's very, very off in how this feels to me. And I think we really, really need to ask. I think this is more just, I mean, I'm starting to ramble because I have two thoughts. It might not be a problem at all, but I think it is worth noting, and I think it is worth recognizing that there have been like 3 issues that feel probably like they shouldn't have happened in most gameplay design or most QA testing. And who knows? Maybe it won't be a problem. But I guess I'm going to put the onus on you, dear viewer. I've spoke my mind. I just generally don't like this, and I don't like the direction that this is going. But, you know, chime in on all 3 accounts. If you're going to comment, try and comment something like about all 3. Do you think Skahal, Warrior of Light, and Xmas Viktora have gone too far in the direction that they are going, or do you think it's actually okay? So, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and see you next time.